Okay, here's this workout I figured you could do maybe at refit because you have some more props like a bench and things like that. So I thought that would be the easiest one to do. Again, you can do these where you can. They can be done at home as well, but I thought this might be a little bit easier to call it like the refit workout once, twice a week if you can. And that would involve sprinting on the treadmill. So what we'd like you to do is first up, go do a warm up of some sort. You can foam roll depending on what you want to do there. Do some sort of warm up, cardio warm up, 5 minutes like we used to in the old gym days. Maybe something different than running. It doesn't have to be running. And then you can do a little more of that later. So, maybe you hop on a bike, just get the blood flowing. Then you want to get into a few stretches. So what we could do is just use, if you can get a hold of a bench, we can do quite a few different stretches. So right away we can just get into a hip flexor stretch. So you could grab yourself a bench, hold, get in here, open up your hip flexor. Your goal would probably be able to get into about 60 seconds on all these stretches. And again, it might take time to accumulate that in terms of strength and holds and whatnot, but you're gonna get more out of it if you stay in there a while versus kind of, oh, this hurts, I don't like this, get out really quick. So there's something to be aware of. You may need to find something as a prop or somewhere to go for the next one. So that would be your hip flexor, do both sides. And then we're gonna get into, we can use the bench, and all we have to do is flip this bench up. Man, how tight you are, the higher, obviously the further it goes up, the more stretching. And this was your quad stretch, so upper hip flexor quad stretch. And that's where we put this back in here like this, and we get in here and we just kind of get in there and stretch out. Now again, sign of tightness is I'm gonna be up front like this and holding. So if I can get in here and just kind of push back, even rock back and forth. Again, once you get through that initial discomfort, and if you don't have a stick, you might need to hold something. Could be a foam roller, or maybe you could position the bench near something. Once you get through that initial discomfort, this will start to loosen up. Bottom line is, it always feels much better after you're done. Most of us have one side a lot tighter than the other. So my suggestion would be, start with your bad side, go in there, do the good side. If there's a noticeable difference, go back in and do the bad side again. But the goal being, eventually that disappears and they're pretty equal, because you can imagine that one side's so much tighter than the other, it's going to twist your hips a little bit over time. So that's the quad or couch stretch that can also be done at home. From there, still using the bench, we get you to incline pigeon. So you can take this to whatever you need to. Now, obviously, taking it flat is the most difficult. So that would show us that somebody has a more, simply put, the more angle we get on our leg, the better the hip stretch is. So we just want to get in here like this, get your knee in there, try and stay nice and upright, and just hold. And just get in there. So our goal while we hold this, again, 60 seconds would be ideal. If you want two options, we can either make this flatter, if that's what you need, or what we can do is start to bring this back leg, as long as this doesn't come with it. So I'm pretty tight, so this isn't going to work for me. And then we can start to bring some movement into here as well to get that stretched out, that joint. And then this way you just have to simply turn around and do the other side. And that gets us a pretty good workout using just the bench right away, just to do some stretches. You can go through it more than once if you really want to, treat it like a little circuit, but for sure, one time through there. Then I figured we could do a few little exercises. Now, I mentioned there's a back extension device similar to what we have at Crescentwood. I do not have one in here, so I just use the stability ball. And this is for your oblique muscles and your low back muscles, and we call it a QL hold. And what I want to do is I want to get on, so I'm going to use the ball. It's much easier on a stable machine. And all I want to do is I want to get into this angle, and I just want to hold. So I want to come in like this. So this is the angle you would be in, nice and upright, and you're just working isometric hold through here. Not unlike when we walk with kettlebells, it's the same concept. And I just come in here. So you would have a pad that you'd be on, usually it's a 45-degree angle like this, and you just hold in here like that. If I'm using the ball, I can put one hand on here to stay nice and firm. Just want to make sure hips and shoulders all line up. I don't want to be skewed forward or backwards. And then the next step, can I take this arm off and hold here? That's a little bit harder. Same thing, I can feel this contracting. Then you would do the other side. Same idea, build up to 60 seconds. So you do what you can at the beginning. Maybe it's only 30 seconds, but again, build up to what you can. And then after this, we go back down to the floor for side leg raises. So with the exercises at home have clamshells involved in them. These are the side leg raises. And this is where I line myself up. Again, everything lines up straight. Keep this leg up. I'm coming up to whatever I can. You can see I'm not very high on this. Once I get to the top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you can count slower if you want. That's actually not a bad thing. But you want to get that motion up there, or build some strength in there. And we did a test where I pushed your leg down, and it was not overly difficult to do that, which shows us we need a little more strength in here. Keep your legs straight. When people get tired, they'll start to want to bend it, and just stay in that position. I mean, who cares? As long as you can hold and get in there, 10 reps, 5 seconds, we could start to build that into 15 reps, or maybe even a longer hold or just a shorter count. And then you'll do the same thing on the other side on that one. And then that takes us to, I'm gonna have to move this down a bit. If you can find a box, we could get you doing some box step-ups. Sorry here. And I'm pretty sure they would have something that you could use. We don't want to go at the highest one. We use chairs in the gym as well. So somewhere either from that height, or you can start with something a little bit lower if you want. And we just want to work on a little more of that single leg squat stability. So I want to keep this in here locked in, and it's just a straight on step up. But the key is I'm coming down at a very, very slow pace. So if I go to the side, it's just a straight on step up, trying to build some single leg squat strength. So up, down. Not, if you can, we don't want to do this, that rocking position. So just push through the middle of your foot, slowly come down, driving off this leg, not this leg. And same thing, 15 reps on one side, 15 on the other. Once you feel that that's pretty easy and doable, you could flip up or get another box and go up a little bit higher. Ideally, we would do the QL holds, the leg raises, and the box step ups 2 to 3 rounds. So you could break these into 2 different workouts at the start. You could do your stretches at the beginning, then go through the other exercises, and then that should have you all nice and warmed up and ready to go to the treadmill. What I would suggest on the treadmill is, sorry, just move this back, is you can walk on there at the start, treat it again like a bit of a warm. You can walk on there for 5 minutes just to get ready, and then all you have to do is, sprinting's not easy, so you just pick a number, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, 60 seconds. Run at a fast clip. Usually the first couple are the hardest just to get going. Make sure we're running in nice form, pain-free, get out of breath, and then just walk. Your recovery depends up to you. Somebody that's more advanced, we kind of do 1-to-1. So if I sprint for 60 seconds, I walk for 60 seconds. But for a lot of people, we double that. And it's just easier and to accumulate some time. And then you get better and less chance of injury. So if I was to sprint for 30 seconds, I might walk for 60 seconds. If I sprint for 60 seconds, I might walk double that, 2 minutes. And then you can just look at something, you can have a timer on your watch, whatever, the treadmill will tell you, and just go through that. And then you're just accumulating time, and you'd be amazed how quick it is to end up with 5K out of that one. And then same thing at the end, do a cool down of 5 minutes. And then your last one to finish, and we did this, would be to stretch out your calf muscles. So if they have a slant board, or anything like that, you could just put your foot up in this position at the wall, or if they have a slant board, hold there. That's for your calf muscles. And the other one that we did was where we put a dumbbell down and we step on it, and then we step over and just hold like that. And then obviously the further you step over, the more stretch you're gonna get, but as long as you can keep your heel on the ground and stay nice and upright. So that's our other calf stretch there. Again, 60 seconds on each leg, always holding for that amount. And that should take you through that. If you have any questions, just ask.